Alright. Should be some options. Font. I feel like you should be able to make these bigger. I like that better. That better? I think that's better. Alright. So last time we were trying to do this, but it wasn't really working. So we're gonna start over. And we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna make our first, we're gonna use tuples on suits and the cards so that we can, so they can't be changed. So let's say C, clubs, hearts, can't type, spades, clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. Alright, and then cards, we're gonna go through the same thing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're making them strings because we're gonna, for the like double digit cards and the face cards. 10, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace. And then we're gonna leave some placeholders. So like card values. We'll just leave that as a dictionary. The deck that we're gonna create. Empty list. Player's hand. It'd be helpful if I spelled it right. Player's hand. So player's hand, and then this is gonna be card. We'll say values. I'll explain that later. And then player hand suits, and that's going to be used to check. Basically, all the hand value is going to check for a straight and pairs, and then the hand suit, all it's going to do is check for flushes. So it doesn't really matter what order they're in. So the first thing we're going to do is in create deck, we're going to use these, the suit and the cards, to create the deck and the card values. So for card in card in suits, we're gonna have to pass these in actually. So cards, suits, suit, should be suits. Same thing, cards, suits. And then in here we're gonna say for X in cards, or no, we're just gonna do range actually, from 0 to 13. Because that's how many cards there are in a deck of cards. Semicolon. So this is a nested loop. and then we're gonna say deck. We have to make a temporary array in here, or a list actually, and we're gonna have to say deck dot append, and that means just to add something on the end of it. And then our first, we're gonna add card dot, is it cards? Yeah, cards. So it's pulling in this cards, this list right here, and we're gonna give it spot X. So it's gonna iterate through 0 to 13, and we're gonna say plus card, and then we're gonna make the card values, and we're gonna have to actually, this isn't gonna work either, so we're gonna have to do this again. So I'll just show you what this prints for right now. So this is gonna set deck, which we have as an empty list, to basically a deck of cards, and I'll print it right after. Print deck. Save that. Go over here, Python poker.py. None. Okay. For cards. It's really weird. What if I do it without this? This is really starting to bother me. Yeah, so that works. So there's my deck of cards. So it goes all the way to ace. You guys see that? Can I make this so you can see it? No, that's not gonna work. Well, I hope you can see that. It's really shitty. Yeah, so basically it's just going all the way up through every suit. And so I'm just gonna use the string later. These are each little strings to check what the hand is. So there's 52 slots. And so basically 52 cards in a deck. And so every time we choose a card, we're gonna pop it off. We're gonna pop it off the stack, and then yeah, okay, cool. We're gonna pop it off the stack so that it's gone basically. So you return the value, and then it's gone from the deck of cards. So you can only choose from 51 at that point. Oh God, my throat's really dry. I should have got water. Yeah. So that really sucks though. I thought that was gonna work. Because if you pass in values, it should work. Let me mess with it for a little while. It should work. So cards, suits. Suits, cards. I don't know why that didn't work. Oh, so stupid. Okay. You have to return it. I'm making so many mistakes. So deck equals create deck, and we're gonna pass in cards, and suits. So, yeah, so there. That's better. Always in a function, you gotta return it. God, so dumb. Okay. Alright, so now we have the deck. So I don't want to print it anymore since I know it works. And then I want a function to be called deal cards. And we're gonna pass in a list called player's hand, regardless of if we have one or not. So player's hand, keep in mind this is a list, it's just empty right now, is equal to deal cards. Right now we're just making sure everything works. So this is just going to be equal to whatever we set to in here. So I'm just going to make a return so that I know, so I don't forget it. Okay, so player's hand. And then, so something I always like to do is I always like to go in Python just in my command prompt, and I like to make an empty list and then see the functions that I can use. So if I say name dot count, that's weird. So list, so I don't know what that does. So I'm gonna say list dot count. Return number of occurrences of a value. Oh, that's kind of cool. Huh. And then size of doesn't work. Size of L in memory in bytes. Don't need that. Count, extend, index, insert, remove, reverse. So we need something that gives us the length, because that's what we're going to use. So let's try it. So print name dot, yeah, that's not something we want. There should be a size of append, count, extend, insert, remove, reverse, sort. Sorry about not streaming yesterday. My kid was acting crazy and I just didn't have the energy. She is turning 1 next week, so I think she figured out how to like manipulate through crying. So yeah, I really apologize. So I guess len is the name is equal to 1, 2, 3 len name 3. Okay, so that's what we need. We need that len function. It's gonna give us the length. I'll explain that right now. So we're gonna reuse this deal card function to deal cards even after our player has decided that they only want to keep 2 or 3. What are you programming? Weird. I don't even see you in the chat. Yeah, it's excuse me. Jacks are better poker. I think the title says it on the stream. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so what I want to do is I want to say for I in 0 range, and I'm going to start it at 0, and I'm going to go to this is going to look kind of funny, but it's going to be 5 minus the length of player's hand. So this, if there's nothing in player's hand, will return 5. So you want 5 cards. But if you have 3 cards in your hand, yeah, just hang out. It's fun. Ask questions. So yeah, so if you have 3 cards, it's 5 minus 3, so you just need 2. So it's just going to put 2 in your hand, and so it won't overload your hand. So what this is going to do, we actually need our random from random. Is it capital? I think it's just lowercase. From random import rand int. So we want to player's hand dot append again, not subend, append, and then we're going to use our deck. Let's move this up so you guys can see it. We're going to use our deck list, which has 52 whatchamacallit, 52 slots in it. So we're going to say deck.append deck, and then we're going to drop in another range. This is kind of confusing because we're using another range. We're going to start it at 1. We're going to say rand int. It's going to be a random integer from 1 to the length again of deck. So since we're going to be pulling cards out of the deck, we can't always say there's going to be 52 cards. So every time we pop a card out, it's going to lessen the deck by 1. So, you can't have the same card twice. So player's hand dot append, and then we're going to say sorry. We're going to need to pop that. Let me get some water really quick. Hold on. Alright, much better. Okay. We actually don't want to drop it in like that. I kind of want to pop it out of the list. Sorry. My throat. This pop Python. Yeah. So Removes or returns the last item in the list. Removes item with given. Okay, so this should work. Deck.pop. These are a lot of curly braces, so we're gonna have to make sure we're in there. So this one is for this one. This one is for this one. Yeah, we're losing something right now. Deck.pop. So this needs to be inside the last one. 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So now I really want to check if this is working. I put too many parentheses and stuff to kind of follow it. So let's make sure it works. Okay. Player's hand, not defined. Player's hand, player's hand. Okay, so I put an S there, so that's not going to work. 36, deal cards, player hand, integer is required. Well, that's what I'm getting. Rand int. Range legs. You know what? I have to pass in a deck. And I forgot to do that. So we're gonna pass in the deck. Still not working. Integer is required. It doesn't make sense. Player's hand dot append. Got the same error, yeah. There's something length deck. So an integer is required. They should all be integers though. Unless, let's see. This is the first one, this is the last one, this is the second to last one, this is that one. Bracket, bracket, right here, right here. So that should be an integer. I don't know why. So this length of deck is right here. Deck gets returned. Let's just let's not call it. Let's see what the length returns of deck. I should buy that at one point. So there's nothing. So return deck. Why is the... I thought we did this. I thought it was returning the deck. What the hell? That's weird. What's that? Oh yeah, there's nothing in player's hand. 52. Deck. This is a number. This is 52. 1 to 52. Maybe you don't need the brackets. Let's try this. No. Sorry guess. Okay, so there it is. So you don't need the brackets if you're popping. Your deck printed. I can hear the Mac keyboard. Yes. What are you currently working in as a job? Bits. I don't have a job. I'm currently a student and a stay-at-home dad. So I guess in a way, I'm a stay-at-home dad and that's my job. So I do this while my kid is asleep. And I really like programming, so I thought I would stream it and just talk to people about what I'm doing and get people going. Because I want a community like where people are just talking about programming, you know? And not so much in a classroom environment where you're kind of like, you can be scared to ask questions. So yeah, it was that bracket. But yeah, I don't have a job. I get paid in hugs and kisses. But yeah, I do this while she's asleep. So my deck printed. Can you not see that? There. Alright. There's that, has joined. Okay, so my deck printed. So I have a deck now. So now I really want to print it in like a nice format. So for I in player's hand, card, see if this works, enumerate, print I card. This should work. Yeah. Print I plus 1. Yeah. So 4 clubs, 10 of hearts. So now I don't know if I like that, because you kind of have to like decipher it, you know, you kind of have to like think about what it actually means, you know. So maybe yeah, I don't like that. Oh well, we're just gonna go with it for now. We're gonna say while decision is equal to, we're gonna say 0, not 0, an empty string, while decision is not equal to Q, or no, we'll say N. What card removal, I guess that's a terrible name, is equal to raw input what card do you want to get rid of? And then we're gonna say player's hand dot remove open close brackets, and we're gonna say we're gonna have to cast it because the raw input comes as a string. We're gonna say card removal, and then we're gonna say decision is equal to raw input, and all we care about is the first letter, so 0. Code is not up. Sorry, I'll get better at that. I really apologize. Raw input, any more, and then we're gonna say yes or no, and at the end we're gonna say print player's hand to see if it removed them. Poker out of range dot lower is not equal to n. Set it as y. What card do you want to get rid of? Int card removal -1. Sorry, because arrays. So this is kind of important right here in lists. I keep calling them arrays. But in Python they're lists. They're the same thing pretty much. But this is important right here. So when it asks what card do you want to get rid of, it gives you the options 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you put a 1, like say you want to get rid of the first card, it's not really in list position 1, it's in list position 0. Because arrays start at 0 and lists start at 0, same thing. So whatever they put, you want to subtract it by 1 so you get the actual location of the array. I'll type it out so you can see it. So arrays work like this. They always go, their list always starts 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what you see, like if you're putting stuff in it, like say you start at 1, like it actually prints out like that because there's actually 6 slots. So it's always your top. If it's an ordered value, it's always your top value minus the first value plus 1. If that makes sense. Or it's always n plus 1. So I guess it'd be the top one plus the first one, or something like that. It's always one more. It's kind of tricky. So that's why I did -1 here. So I just want to see if so that's not going to work. Remove built-in function. Oh, so stupid. So these are parentheses because it's a function. No, it's not. Remove x. X is not in list. Did I say I wanted to remove x? Pretty sure I said 1. You guys can I had this smaller so it didn't do this. There. That should work. Layer 51 player's hand dot remove. Alright, so this is perfect. So let's do this. Let's make a list. And we're gonna say dir name, so it's a list, and there's a remove function. So I want help with list.remove. Remove first occurrence of value. So it's not slots, it's the value. So that's not what we want to do. We want to actually remove something from a list. So let's figure out how to do that. Removes the first item unless its value is x. Yeah. Suppose we could just pop it. Let's try to pop it. Pop it. So let's see if that works. We're not returning it, so it might not like it. Clear that so it moves up. I want to get rid of the first one. Any more? Yes. 3. No. So I got rid of the king. And it looks like yeah, it looks like it got rid of the 4th one, because what happened was when I removed the first one, the array slid down. It moved up. So so what we thought was in slot 3, so we're gonna have to print it every time that we get rid of a card. So we're gonna say in our while loop, we're gonna have this in here. This is gonna be our print function. Yeah. So fuck it. So we'll call this print card, and we'll put it in our function. Print cards. And we're gonna say player's hand. And then we're just gonna put this bitch in here. Make sure our indenting is good, 4 spaces. And we're gonna say, this is all we want. Print cards. That should work. So what card do you want to get rid of? I want to get rid of the first one. Let's move it up. Let's get rid of the first one. Any more? No, I don't like that. Alright. No. So it's still going to print it. How interesting. Oh, it's still printing it out here. Okay. So I want this to be out here. I don't want it to be right there. And then I want it to be right here. And then right here. Actually, that's all I want it to do. So that way, after we remove one, it prints it. Any more? You say yes. And what card do you want to get rid of? That way you have an updated list. You say 4. And then you have an updated list. Any more? No. So now we have a way to get rid of cards. So decision, that's our get rid of card function. So what we can do, we're gonna make this a function too. We'll call it choose cards. And I'm not really doing anything crazy. This is kind of what it is. You kind of write your program and then you see what you can pull out into functions. That way, if you can, yeah, sorry. I'll get better at it. I'm really sorry. I keep forgetting. You know what? I'm gonna do this. Let's see, does it move up with it? Alright, so I need to move this up a little bit. There, that should work. Should do it automatically now. Sorry about that. So yeah, so there's our function for that. Choose cards. So we're gonna want to pass in our player's hand, and I think that's it. Yeah. So we can just copy all this in. Make sure our spacing is still good, or else Python will throw a fit. Yeah. And then after we're done, we're gonna want to return our player's hand back. Because we want that shit back. Return player's hand. Okay, so now I don't need this anymore. So now all I need to do is do this. Player's hand is equal to choose cards. And then we pass in player's hand. So it should run the same way. I want to get rid of the 1. Yes. 3. No. Okay. So now we have the way of getting rid of cards. So now the next thing we need to do is get our next cards. So after that's done, we could just use the same thing as that, and then we'll call this again to make sure that it's correct. I want to get rid of 1, yes, 2, and I want to get rid of, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going after. I'm going after a flush apparently, but so then we got dealt 3 new cards. So now we're set with 3 new cards. And so now what we want to do, since we're done with user decision, we want to make our algorithm, we want to find our hands, we want to find our hands basically. Are there any pairs? Are there any 3 of a kinds? Are there any 4 of a kinds? Straights, flushes, stuff like that. So that's where these, not this, that's where these player hand values and suits are coming in. This is really hard on your throat. I never would have thought that. So yeah, what I'm going to do, since these are strings, do I still have it up? No. Since these are strings, and in every slot there's a character, there's 2. Our first value, okay, it is kind of up actually. So our first value is the value of the card, like what card it is, and then the next value is the suit. So all I'm going to do is split it up and put it in 2 different lists. I'm going to sort the list. What list? I'm going to sort the list with the card values to check for a straight. And then the card with the flushes, or with the suits, all I'm going to check is if they're all the same. Because if they're not the same, then there's no flush. It doesn't really matter. I'm done with it at that point. That makes sense? So all I really need is to convert this first one into actual number values from 0 to 13 or 0 to 12, because the face card values, like 10, I put T, and then Jack, like those aren't going to sort correctly. So I need to make another list with values according to these. I need to make a dictionary actually that sets 2 to 0, 3 to 1, stuff like that, so that we can sort it correctly. So this part is just dealing a hand and selecting new cards. Right, so these are going to have to be in a while loop afterwards, but right now it doesn't matter. We're just kind of running through it once. So we'll add the replay value after. And then later on we can add your bet, because we want to, you know, if you get a royal flush, I think that's like 500 to 1 or 400 to 1 or something. So we want to add those in later. Let's see. Not dropping any frames today, so that's good. Where were we? So we need that list. So what I want to do, where was it? Yeah, this is what I had. I wrote this earlier so that I wouldn't mess it up. This little code right here, it's a nested loop, and all I need it for is the card values, so that I'll show you what it is. I'll just print it. Print card values. So if you look right here, this is a dictionary. So I'm just going to match it up with my list of whatever their hand is. So A gives you 12 points. K gives you 11 points. And it's just all the way down to 2. So that's all that is. We're going to have to make a... Well, no, let's just do it and assume everyone enters everything correctly, because if they enter any other character in here, it's going to bomb out. So we want to add the try except things again. And we're going to want to check for like, because this doesn't, you know, if they put anything else in here besides stuff that's in the array, it's going to dump out. But we'll do that later. So what we want to do is we want to say we want another function to set the values. So we want to define set, what is this called? Player hand values. We'll just call it set hand values. And then we're going to have another one that says set hand suits. I think that's what it is. Suits, yeah. And we're going to want to pass in player's hand on both of them. I don't know what I just typed right there. And so we're going to go for I in player's hand. And we want a new list actually. Card value is a list. You guys see it? Yeah, okay. So this is going to go through the 5 cards in the player's hand. So what I want to do is I want to go card, we're going to do the append again, card value dot append, not subappend. And then what we put in here is going to be player's hand, and then I, because that's the one that's counting. And then we're going to say, we're going to have to use another array. I'm pretty sure this is going to work, but we're going to say 0, because we just want what's in the first slot of their card. So we want the 2, or the 3, or the 8, or the 5. We don't want the C yet. So we're just going to copy that code in the next one, and we're going to say 1. So it's in the second slot. Kind of confusing because it's arrays, but yeah. So expected an indent block on line 69. Oh. So if you don't put anything in a function, it doesn't like it. Out of range. Number. Player's hand deal cards 70. 42. So weird. It was just working. It's really weird. Okay, so now it works. That's weird. That's really weird. Okay, so we just need to call. So we're gonna say we want these. These are the two that we want. Player's card value is equal to, we're just gonna use one for now, set hand values. This one's set hand suits. Oh shit. My kid is awake. Sorry. I'm gonna comment this one out. I wanna try this as fast as I can. Player's hand. And then we're gonna print player's hand values to see if it works. 1, yes, 2, no. Okay. That's not working for now. So this is what we need to work on next time. This right here, because we need to figure out a way to get the first array or the first slot. But I gotta go. Yeah, we got a lot done actually. I'll post the code so you can kind of see, but this is not good right here. So I'm just gonna comment it out for now. Work on this next time. And we can't print it, we can't call it. So thanks guys, I really appreciate it. Paste bin. Yeah, and oh, tomorrow's Saturday. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know, my whole family's here, so it's not really that easy to like talk on camera. I'll post it in chat and then I'll tweet it later. But yeah, maybe I'll do one tomorrow. I don't know, but most likely Monday. So thanks guys, I really appreciate it. But I gotta go, and I'll see you later. Peace.